The 2025 Lexus NX. This is going to be a buyer's guide video to show you the best value amongst the NX lineup and the best options and the trims. And towards the end, I'm also going to be sharing with you how you can save money off the MSRP of the 2025 NX SUV. All right, let's get started. So with the pure gas model of the NX, you have the NX 250 and the NX 350 to choose from. Then we have the NX 350h, which is the regular hybrid. Then we have the NX 450h Plus, which is a plug-in hybrid SUV. Let's start with the pure gas models first. And really, the NX 250, it's rather underpowered, and you're going to want to go with this vehicle if you're like a cash buyer and you just want the most bare bones product, but you still care about fuel economy. So you might want to just go with the regular NX 250 front wheel drive version to once again lower your MSRP and to get the best fuel economy possible. And you can just go to Lexus's own manufacturer website and you can see all of the detailed specs regarding every Lexus. So there you have it. The base NX 250 front wheel drive, it can get 26 mpg in the city and 33 out in the highway. Out of the naturally aspirated 2.5 liter 4-cylinder engine, it's got 203 horsepower and 184 pounds-feet of torque. And I'm pretty sure you are able to use regular fuel with the 250, so that's another reason to look into this model. When you go with the 350 models, the regular gas 350, you get a turbo inline 4-cylinder engine with a lot more power and torque, but you do have to use premium fuel now. At least that's the best protocol with these turbo engines, and your fuel economy, it does suffer. You now get 21 city, 28 highway with the all-wheel drive NX 350, but the power is good. 275 horse, 317 pounds-feet of torque. It feels absolutely effortless around town. I do appreciate this engine. It's a good match. And the 0 to 60, I mean, it's almost 2 seconds quicker than the 250 model. But once again, if you're someone who's paying cash and you just want the cheapest Lexus and you kind of actually want to keep it long term, a front-wheel drive 250 might be something to look into. However, my most ideal NX would be the 350 F-Sport handling all-wheel drive model. When I built one, it came out to be, well, quite a bit of money. It was $56,839. That's my ideal model. Why is that? Well, I've said this in a few of my other Lexus reviews, but I've noticed that with a lot of these vehicles, the luxury trim level and the F-Sport handling trim levels, they seem to drive the best with these Lexus products. I don't know why that is. I mean, handling wise, you pretty much just get the adaptive dampers with the F-Sport handling, which don't really do much when you go between the modes. But somehow, some way, with every model of the Lexus lineup, the F-Sport handling just offers you a more crisp and cleaner driving characteristic. I have no idea why that is. Other people in the comment section have agreed with me on this as well. When they would test drive more base model Lexus vehicles, they would have a more tinny feel to it, and then they would step into the top of the line luxury or the F-Sport handling and they would feel incredible. I'm not really sure what's up with that. I mean, it's just a trim level when you look at it at face value, but there seems to be more going on. No idea though, there's no proper explanation. Obviously, Lexus has nothing to say about that, but from a practical standpoint, all you really need is the premium trim levels with a few options, and that's going to serve you well. So when I built an NX 350 premium all-wheel drive, it came out to be $51,644, and you know, they really tax you for some additional options here, like with the heated steering wheel. I mean, even on the F-Sport, right? Some of their top trim levels, they still tax you for things like the 360 camera, right? Even the Mark Levinson audio system, It doesn't come standard with the F Sport handling. You still have to pay over $1,000 to get that. And you also have to get the F Sport handling luxury package to get things like heated and ventilated seats in the front and other options as well. So yeah, that's what really makes the MSRP jump. It's the additional options. I wished Lexus would give you more of these options just naturally bundled in, but they don't. When you get up to over 56 grand, I mean, you can get somewhat well-equipped BMW X3s and Audi Q5s. And if you're just going to be leasing and dumping this stuff anyway, almost everybody is going to just get the German vehicles for sure. But 51 grand, that's a lot more palatable, I guess. That's really what these things should be going for. But as mentioned before, that F Sport, it just gives you a much more cleaner and crisp driving feel. And no, it doesn't give you a crappy ride quality or anything like that. It's not even about sportiness or handling. It just drives better. It actually feels a bit more comfortable. It's just the wildest thing. But it's imperative that you go out and you test drive all of these vehicles for yourself. All right. Then we have the hybrid, which I do like the hybrid as well. It is really fuel efficient, but the only thing that's not so great about the hybrid is the naturally aspirated engine. It is rather loud. So whenever you're accelerating that engine, it does make a racket. So that's something to watch out for with the NX250 and the 350h. But otherwise, the hybrid makes decent horsepower, 240, and they don't really disclose the torque for the hybrids, but fuel economy is fantastic, 41 city, 37 highway, and you do get all-wheel drive as standard with the hybrids. So that's good. And I did build a hybrid here as well. I just chose the premium trim level. Once again though, the luxury model would be something to look into. Test drive it, see if it feels a little bit more solid out on the road. This is something that myself and once again a lot of other commenters have noticed. You know, you are saving about 4 G's though in the starting price between the premium and the luxury. And you can build these premium trim levels to have pretty good options like the heated steering wheel and certain packages which bundle together the 14-inch touchscreen, the Mark Levinson audio. I mean, that right there, that's pretty much going to give you everything that you need bundled in with that package. Once again, they pretty much charge you $800 for the panoramic view monitor, the 360 camera. Really don't like that. Wish they would just give that to you as standard when you go with the premium models and up. But honestly, I still kind of prefer the 350 gas model over the H, the hybrid, because once again, you have the quicker turbo engine, which is also a bit smoother as well because it's a turbo. It's a bit more quieter than the naturally aspirated 4-cylinder engine. So that's some of the main reasons why I like the 350, and you actually get better discounts with the NX350 as well. And I'll talk more about that towards the end. Anyway, your last model to choose from, it is the plug-in hybrid. And of course, the F Sport, it's only like $1,000 more. So if you're interested in the plug-in hybrid, I would get the F Sport. And yes, I have test driven the plug-in hybrid as well. And this is a good model. It does weigh quite a bit, a little over 4,400 pounds, but surprisingly, you don't really feel it too much. I mean, you feel it a little bit in some of the corners, but it's not terrible. They've done a decent job in managing that rather high curb weight of 4,475 pounds. When you look at the hybrid curb weight, the regular, compared to the all-wheel drive gas NX350, the weight difference, it's not much. So that's impressive. And the 250 model, it weighs the least, especially in front-wheel drive format, 3,660 pounds. And I do like the way these SUVs handle. It's a big step up compared to the previous generation NX SUVs. They really nailed it in the handling department. But yeah, when I built the plug-in hybrid, it came out to be a little under 65 grand. I can kind of go over the options here, but with the plug-in hybrids, they do come well equipped. As you can see, it has the highest starting MSRP, so there's not too much that you have to add. With the plug-in hybrids, it's still crazy that the wireless charging pad is a $75 extra option. It's not just about the $75. Some of these dealerships, they'll order cars and they'll forget to add certain options. And some dealerships, they can just leave out the wireless charging pad. So when they make crucial things like this a separate option and you're just shopping for vehicles that are sitting on the lot, it's totally possible that it might not come with things like the wireless charger or the panoramic view monitor. That's why these things either need to be bundled together in a options package, or they simply need to come with high trim levels as standard. That way you don't end up with like a super high MSRP vehicle that's loaded and it's just missing one thing like a wireless charging pad, and that becomes like a deal breaker for a wealthy client. So it's just foolish that these manufacturers do things like this. But one thing that Lexus did, which was smart, was with the accessories, they have started to bundle in top most popular accessories together, like the all-weather floor mats, the cargo net, the wheel locks, the key gloves. They kind of bundled all that together for $469. That's actually pretty good value, so that's nice. Anyway, that's pretty much how I built all of these SUVs. Again, 350 F-Sport handling, all-wheel drive. That would be my ideal choice, but it is rather expensive, and really it's hard to get this combination. You would have to build the vehicle yourself to get these options, but I would just build one here. I just chose an NX350 Premium all-wheel drive to build here. If you're just going to be paying cash, once again, NX250 front-wheel drive, that should be good, but I do like that nori green paint. Thankfully, that does not cost extra. I think this copper crest, yeah, that's going to cost you an additional $595. Even the white pearl costs extra. So yeah, red line, that's a free color. All right. Anyway, I do like nori green with that orangish interior. The 18-inch wheels is fine, and it actually looks pretty good. But even if you got the 20s, if you like the way that looks, go for it. It doesn't really affect the ride quality too much, but I'm just going to stick with the 18 since it doesn't cost any extra money. Heated steering wheel, wireless charger. Again, the problem with having these things as options and standalone features is some of these dealerships, when they're speccing these vehicles out, they could miss some of these options, and it just throws off the whole build. I would add this $2,225 package to get the big screen, which I do like. You know, the big screen, it works great, no issues, and it's rather easy to use. And the Mark Levinson audio system, I mean, that's just a must with these Lexus products. It sounds really good, especially for the price point. There's another package here without the Mark Levinson, which I would avoid that. If you love your music, it's definitely worth having. The digital key, yeah, no thanks. Heads-up display, I'm not really a big fan of the Lexus NX heads-up display. It's a bit cumbersome, but if you want it, it's an extra $900. The digital rear view mirror, if you're someone who's going to be loading up your SUV all the time with a bunch of cargo, and it's going to block your rear visibility, then sure, you can go for it. I mean, it's just $200. You could get that if you want. 360 cameras, I mean, with these little SUVs, it's not, you know, super necessary, but it's a nice quality of life feature to have. So I would think, you know, why not? Plus, these are luxury cars. They should come with that stuff. And, you know, if you really suck at driving, then you can get this front cross traffic alert. Once again, with the accessories, I like how they bundle together the main ones in this $469 accessories package. That's brilliant. And there we have it, $52,114, a bit more than the 350 Premium that I built because I included a few extra things. But yeah, this is a pretty good price point, the low $50,000 range. for these NX vehicles. It's not really worth paying much more than this. But as you're about to see with the plug-in hybrid, there's a $7,500 incentive when you lease these products. So I can talk more about that towards the end. And something else I forgot to mention is all of these SUVs, even the hybrids and the plug-in hybrids, they all come with a 14.5 gallon fuel tank. So with the hybrids, you're definitely going to be traveling the furthest because they have really good fuel economy. And then the next best choice would be the NX 250. So there you have it. It's basically that RAV4 engine that you're getting with the NX 250. And I would say that the NX 250 would be one of the better models if you want to keep it past the warranty period. But if you come to a website like nhtsa.gov, you can actually see all of the complaints, the recalls, and the TSBs for pretty much any of these new vehicles. And surprisingly, there's not a lot of crazy complaints with the 2024 NX 350. That's pretty good. And with the 2023 NX 350, even less so. I think there was only 8 complaints. So that's pretty impressive. There's 82 TSBs, but a lot of that is pretty repetitive. And some of it is just frivolous stuff. Regarding recalls, there's nothing crazy going on. And no current investigations either. Regarding the deals and the promotions, well, I did promise you at the beginning of this video that I would share with you a resource to save money, and that resource is going to be AutoCompanion. AutoCompanion is one of the largest car brokers in the United States. He has partner dealerships in the Washington, D.C. area, and he is offering 10% off the MSRP of the gas model NX 350. So not the hybrid, not the 250, and certainly not the plug-in hybrid. Only the gas NX 350. He's got 10% off. I already mentioned that it's my most favorite model to drive because I think the turbo engine, it is the smoothest, it is a bit quieter, and it's one of the most powerful. It's very quick in the real world. In combination with the 10% discount, I mean, that's kind of the way I would roll when it comes to this. Now, when you go on the Lexus website and you look at the offers that they have, I mean, these things, they change every month, lease programs, interest rates, incentives, all these things they update every month. But the Lexus website will obviously update every month with the latest incentives and programs. But in the description box, I'm also going to have a free leasing calculator provided to you by AutoCompanion, and I'll talk more about that in a moment. But as we can see, the programs are just awful with Lexus. I mean, the best that they have going on is a 3.9% APR interest rate for 48 months on the gas model NX. That's really not great, but you can get $2,000 in lease cash, which is good, but the lease programs are not that great, sadly. So, I mean, most of these Lexus vehicles, they're really best for the cash buyer, surprisingly, or the person who's going to pay the stuff off early. But sadly, it just does not make sense for a lot of people. I mean, for the lease and dump people, you're probably better off just looking at things like the BMW X3 or the Audi Q5, or even some of the Volvo products like the XC60 and the XC90. And regarding leasing, I mean, here's that free leasing calculator I was talking to you about. Once again, this is a free resource provided to you by AutoCompanion. This will show you the interest rate of a lease, the residual values, and the incentives that you can get in your local zip code. So we can take that $57,000 top of the line 350 F Sport that I built with 10% off. Yeah, I mean, that's a sizable discount, over $5,700, $5,600 in discount. That's good off the MSRP. But even with the promotional lease program, the interest rate of the lease, it's still like 6%. That's not great. And the residuals, it's okay, 59%, but that high interest rate, it's really driving up the monthly payment. So the whole point of the lease is to have really low payments, and that's really not the case. Stuff like this, it should be leasing out for, I don't know, $550, $600 a month at the most for these top of the line vehicles, but that's not the case. And this payment, that actually includes the lease cash of $2,000. So what did I say? You got $5,600. So $7,600 off the MSRP, and you're still paying like $750 a month. That's not ideal. There's some other incentives here, like, you know, if you qualify for some type of a loyalty, or if you're someone that bought out your lease between the period of January 2021 and January 2024, you're someone who can qualify for an additional $1,500. You know, if you have the Morgan Stanley thing, there you go, $500. So yeah, there's some random things to help you save even more money, but yeah, let me see, what is this? Yeah, if you're like a Toyota employee, there's like a $2,000 incentive. So this is good. I mean, whether you are financing, paying cash, or leasing, you should use this calculator to see all the incentives, because incentives stack on top of the dealer discount. All right. And it even shows you like the fees that you have to pay for this stuff, the taxes for your local state. Also, incentives, even the lease programs, it can actually change depending on your region. So if you're like in California, Texas, whatever, some of these incentives and numbers would look different. Of course, the tax rate is also going to change depending on your state. And I assume that you're putting no money down on the lease as well. So there you have it. But that's on the most expensive NX. Even on that $51,000 premium model, payment is still $668 a month. I think the interest rate is slightly less. No, it's the same, 6%. With the plug-in hybrid, it's interesting. Even though the discounts are probably not great, I assumed no discount at all. Payment is rather high, $864 a month. But these vehicles, they do qualify for a $7,500 lease cash, which you do not get this if you finance or pay cash for the plug-in hybrid NX 450h Plus. And this is why I said Lexus might work out for those who are paying cash for their vehicles, because if you were going to be a cash buyer who was interested in the plug-in hybrid, what you can do is you could have leased the vehicle first to get the $7,500 lease cash, and then you can just pay off the lease in its entirety in like 30 days. You know what I mean? Just so you can get that $7,500 lease cash. And if you were able to get a discount, then that $7,500 is just going to stack on top of this. So, you know, if you're a cash buyer, you can really save some money with this stuff. But once again, I'm not really sure what discounts are available for the hybrids. And once again, that $7,500 lease cash, it's only available with the plug-in hybrid, not with the regular hybrid. With the regular hybrid, you can get like $1,500 off when you lease. With the gas models, it's like $2,000. Something to keep in mind there. Now, we did see on the Lexus website, there was a promotional finance deal of 3.99% for 48 months. So I ran some numbers on calculator.net, which is pretty much one of the best auto loan calculators that you can use. And I used the discounted NX 350 premium price, where I built like a $51,000 NX 350 with a 10% discount. It's going to be $46,479, and the payment is going to be a little over $1,100. That is quite a lot. And as we can see, the total loan interest, it is $4,192. So we can go ahead and we can compare that with the lease interest to see which is a better deal. Well, when we look on AutoCompanion's calculator on that same NX 350 Premium, it seems like we're paying about $6,800 in interest for the lease. But we did get that $2,000, so, I mean, I don't know, it's about the same, but pretty much awful. Well, this calculation already took into consideration that $2,000 discount, and we're still paying $6,800 in interest in just 3 years on a lease. Yeah, that's just awful. I mean, they both just suck. The lease and the finance, they're both not that great. It's just some of this stuff is okay for the cash buyer, but then again, most cash buyers, they simply don't know the meaning of the term opportunity cost, and when you bring that up, they act like you're speaking in some different language. But regardless, something else that cash buyers can do is they can do like MSDs, which is like a multiple security deposit that you put down on a lease to lower the interest rate of the lease. You can also do a one-pay lease to also pretty much cut this interest rate down in half. But again, for all of these methods, you need a lot of capital. So literally it's just benefiting, people with cash. And that's just kind of the sad thing about Lexus. You can't really finesse these things anymore. It's not that great of a deal. As mentioned before, you might want to look into other brands as well. I mean, AutoCompanion, he doesn't just represent Lexus. He also has a lot of other manufacturers that he works with, like Mercedes-Benz with the GLCs, and he's also got Audi, Porsche, BMW, the Q5s. I think that might be the perfect lease and dump vehicle for sure. Even the plug-in hybrids. Plug-in hybrid vehicles, they pretty much always come with that $7,500 lease incentive. That's something to look into. A Porsche Macan is obviously just too much money, even though it's kind of like the same size. But BMW, the X3 just recently got redesigned, so the programs are not that great, but he's still got 9% off on the X3, the new one. It's something to look into, but it's still going to be expensive if you're just going to finance this stuff. Yeah, maybe X3 could be something to look into. If you want to save all the money, then you can just get like a Mazda CX-5 or something. That's an amazing product right there, and I'm not joking about that. CX-5, CX-50, those are rather refined vehicles, so something to look into. Volvo, as of right now, the XC90 is something that you can sort of finesse on a 2-year lease. They seem to be going for $500 a month, something like that, for a pretty big SUV. As mentioned before, these things, they do change every month, so programs change, all of that. But for the last few years, the Lexus deals have not been that great. Once again, okay for cash buyers or people who are financing and are going to pay the stuff off quickly. It's okay for them, but the lease and dumpers, they're going to gravitate towards the German stuff for sure. But regardless though, if you want to work with AutoCompanion, I did say that he's located in DC for these Lexus vehicles. He is able to ship nationwide, but shipping is something you have to pay extra for. And to access these deals, he does charge a broker fee. If you sign up with my affiliate link in the description box below, he will take some money off of his broker fee, and I appreciate him doing that for my audience. Regardless though, I do still like the NX and the RX in the right trim levels. I think they are some great SUVs. I especially like the way the NX handles, and it's a big improvement over the previous generation model for sure. So it's something to look into, but make sure to do a thorough test drive of whatever trim level that you are interested in regarding these Lexus vehicles. I've noticed a lot of discrepancy in the way these products drive, so just to be sure, take it on a thorough test drive, sit in the vehicle, test out the seats. Some people say that they don't like the F Sport seats. I personally love them. Some people, they can be super particular about that, so sit in it for a long period of time if you can, and also look into the luxury models as well. The luxury models are also really good, but if you found value with this content, make sure to like and subscribe. Thank you again for watching. Take care and goodbye.